Valorant and CSGO has been compared to each other ever since Valorant's release in 2020. In this video, I will tell you if one is better than the other by these categories: beginner player's experience, advanced player's experience, competitive/ranked queue, updates and content, and the community side of things like YouTube and Twitch. So let's start with the beginner's experience for both games. Everyone knows by now that CS is one of the most competitive games out there. The same way it's about Valorant, but the beginner's experience is totally different. In CS, even beginner lobbies feel competitive because there are just so many players that have played the game in its decades of being out compared to the people who are just joining the game, which are super rare, especially in 2022. The Valorant beginner's experience is great, because not only is there less skill required, but many players are still new to this game, and a lot of players play casually, unlike CS, where most of the player base is at least somewhat experienced and competitive. Next, let's talk about the experienced players. Experienced players make up most of CSGO's population. Not that that's a good thing though. If you're a competitive player but you want to play casually, it's gonna be really hard to. In Valorant, it isn't as competitive as CS, which would be a benefit or a negative on how you look at it. It could be better because it's easier to rank up, to get better than others, or to casually play without the stress of anything. Let's talk about ranked between the two games. Ranked on Valorant is toxic at times, and the Smurf problem is huge in the game. However, on CS it's harder to rank up, but it's still enjoyable because of the sheer number of players into ranked and competitive matchmaking. I wouldn't say one is more or less toxic, but Valorant is more luck and CS is more skill. A lot of times matches could be determined in ranked by what agents your team picks, the timing of the enemy, and a lucky flash or a lucky molly in Valorant. In CS, if you're more aware of the map and have better aim, your ability to rank up is a lot easier. CS is a lot more polished and the game doesn't get buffs or needs as much updates because it doesn't have that many factors in play like abilities. Speaking of updates, Valorant feels more new and because of its updates. This is the one spot where I think Valorant really beats CS. Its updates are fresh with new maps and new agents and weapon buffs and nerfs every act. Now if you like stability, CS is always going to be more stable with less RNG. If you like that over more updates, then CS is better. There's no definitive answer because it really depends on what you're looking at in a competitive FPS shooter. Finally, let's see the popularity trends and the community. CS has obviously been more popular than Valorant has ever been. But in 2021, Valorant currently has a more active community when it comes to Twitch and YouTube. CS is the overall more popular game, however, in terms of all-time players, by far. So in conclusion, Valorant isn't as focused on aim and game sense, rather it's more beginner friendly. It has a lot of updates compared to CS, which has little. CS is more competitive, and some people like that better. Alright, I hope this video helps sum up the current state of both games against each other, and have a good day.